This thing would go anywhere.
Nice score there. This is one impressive piece of equipment right here. This week we're in Alaska. These are the Goat Bros, Cisco, Bird, Garcia, and Frog. Come along with us. We guarantee a good time.
And we'll share it with you.
We're going to have lots and lots of fun.
Come along. Looking at this engine 557. This locomotive has been in here in repair for the past 12 years. It's missing the cab, but soon enough that'll be on there. They're working on it.
Here you've got all the steam ports.
So this engine 557 worked the southern route in Alaska, so from Seward, Whittier, up to Anchorage. It's likely that our mother rode on that. When she came in back in 1944, they've done a beautiful job rebuilding the whole thing. Getting ready to walk into that place there. We're gonna grab breakfast. Running with us today, we've got the Bird, we've got Cisco, and we have Garcia. These brothers that are, all of them, crazy and mostly insane. Bird's the operator. When you need a mad operator to get you down the road, he's definitely your guy. This morning we are in Fairbanks, Alaska. Here at the side of the river is this incredible monument representing pilots and people who fought here in World War II.
This is where our father was serving during the Second World War.
Dedicated to the Air Transport Command Lend-Lease program, where they're moving aircraft out of the United States over and into Russia to the war front. That's why the statue behind us here has both an American pilot and a Russian pilot. These are the manufacture points, and they would fly from the manufacture point to the gathering point at Great Falls, and from there they'd start their trek up.
So one of the stories that I remember hearing my dad share, when the fog was thick there in Nome, he said he could hear the Russian pilots up there circling, waiting to land, and that they'd circle and circle and circle, and finally, when they were about to run out of fuel, he says you could hear them coming in, all of a sudden drop below the fog or into the fog and land. He said that they were very tough pilots and had tough hearts.
The Russian pilots took over the planes in Fairbanks. So there were Russian pilots flying from Fairbanks to Nome. So when they talked about landing in Nome, at that point the Russian pilots had already taken over their airplanes and were flying out to their homeland.
Part of this monument is dedicated to the women who served in the Second World War.
Man, look at this old tractor. Engine number 8866. 1905 Advance. Steam tractor. The predecessor of the current day tractors that are used.
This is a 1915 duplex four-wheel drive truck. One of the first, matter of fact, the first four-wheel drive truck. It is really amazing the way they did this. You see how this works? The springs are both shackled. Genius for the day and time. Wood wheels with solid rubber on it. Dual rear wheels with wood spokes.
A steam donkey.
The steam is what runs the winch. It runs the gear, which turns the winch. Got a Chevrolet frame, running a Model T engine, and the transmission. They run the belt drive for the blade. Cutting firewood. See how this is tilted? All I could see was they would put on, they would tilt it, go back, and do the next one, and keep your hands out of it. This is a 1931 Model J Duesenberg.
Ain't it a doozy?
It's a doozy. You know that's where that phrase comes from. It has a turbocharger, 320 horsepower. The lights actually steered with the steering wheel. Direction of the wheels, that it actually followed that.
And one of my favorite things about the car is its top speed is 130 miles an hour. 1931, 130 miles an hour. Can you imagine driving something like that 130 miles an hour? Hang on.
Do it. It's tires.
Those tires are huge. That nose on that thing sticks out there for a while, and I love the chrome work all over it.
And it's an 8-cylinder?
8-cylinder.
Step here on the running board and up, up, and in. 1931 engineering, and today's engineering has not gone beyond that. It's all the same, just different.
I like the only thing it's done is the computerization electric.
We are outside of Delta Junction, camped along the river. This Clearwater Lodge is burned down, but take a look at the view out here. True to its name, that water is so clear. you can see the bottom of the river. Can you imagine if you had a swing hanging off of that? We have fished rivers in Alaska that I would only be slightly exaggerating, and maybe not exaggerating at all, if I were to say that every cast brought a fish in. I bet this river has enough pressure that fish aren't jumping out and into your frying pan.
A panther martin, just like that one, stayed on for a week and was never changed and caught all the fish you could stand to pull in.
That is really a cool bus. From what we've been able to understand so far, it looks like it's about a 1937. Too bad it's so far away. Alaska reclaims anything. If you leave it out, it takes it over. Houses, cars, whatever it is. This place is wild and rugged, and it doesn't take long before it disappears. We're gonna walk over here and look at this override. Looks like a T model. Not much left of that. This is Rika's Roadhouse. It is situated outside of Delta, which is up near Fairbanks, and it sits right next to the Tanana River.
A room, a dinner. Many of them walked here. It took 380 miles.
They would arrive here, they'd have a place to sleep and a meal to eat, and perhaps most importantly, a nice outhouse. Those looking for gold would spend a lot more money in equipment and going out and searching for the gold than they would ever find. So everybody got rich except those looking for gold.
Everybody loves a good gold rush.
Politicians get rich,
The lawyers get rich.
lawyers get rich, the bankers get rich. We are in Delta Junction, Alaska. This place is very important for its help with the construction of the Alaskan Highway. This is basically the terminus where the Alaskan joined the Richardson Highway, an Alaska Canadian highway built in the early 40s for the war effort. And this equipment we see here, these are pieces that were a part of that construction period. This is one impressive piece of equipment right here. Take a look at this rig. These trucks run up and down the highway. They're running from Tok to Fox, Alaska with this company. These double trailers, I don't know, it looks like about 15 axles. They're hauling ore every trip. They run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and moving that ore gold up and down the line. The gold rush is still going on in Alaska. This bridge was part of the Alaskan Highway that was built during World War II so that supplies and people could move from the lower 48 up to Alaska. The road was largely a military operation, but it was also supported by many independent contractors. The U.S. funded and built the highway, and Canada supported, and then after the war, the highway turned over to the care and control of Canada. These equipment haulers sitting on the side of the road here at Dot Lake. That is somewhere outside of Tok, Alaska. It's got 3 drivers on it and 3 axles on the trailer. This here though is a dead horse. Look at here. This chain hanging off the front indicates that they pulled it here.
This is Tanacross. Okay, well, this is in Alaska, of course, and this is part of the air route, the northern route on the way to Fairbanks, actually on the way to Nome, which goes all the way to Russia. And this was part of the Lend-Lease, and this is one of the airfields along the way. It currently is not in use anymore, but look at this huge, huge runway. It is so neat to see this, and it's still here. Can you imagine all the aircraft that came and went during the Second World War right here?
There's a reminder here right in front of the river.
Things aren't safe.
that there were some that didn't make it.
1800s, early 1900s, pulled by mules, or even if they had a steam puller. This is a front steer and a rear steer, obviously for hauling ore, and it's not necessarily for passengers.
They could connect here, another ore car behind it.
But see, it can be pulled this way and pinned. Those black gold trucks we see going down the highway right now, this is the predecessor of it right here.
This gentleman has himself a buggy. We haven't seen one of these in quite a while. Most moose hunters don't use these anymore, but back in the day, this was the only way to get in the outback of Alaska. People that could build a buggy and maintain it, they'd run these things as much as 50 miles off-road. After the military pulled out at the end of World War II, they left all the equipment, or much of the equipment. So the local residents would pick it up and they would do things to use that equipment, sometimes used for tractors and that kind of thing. But also, and more interestingly to me, they would make these off-road buggies. And what they would do is take these old trucks. This guy looks like he's running some tractor tires, but very common of that era, they would use airplane tires.
Yep, 302, the 4-speed in it. Why not? This thing would go anywhere.
Yeah, when we were crossing the river, we probably had water all the way up to here.
Hey, that is great. Look at that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Like this.
I gotta explain this right here. So when they're out crossing a river or going through a swamp, a guy sits right here, holds on up here at this handle, and his job is to take a stick, jam it down in to see how deep the water is and if they can make it in the rig. Fucking hound dog. Yes, you are.
350?
Yes, you are. We are in Copper Center, Alaska this morning. You got the Bird, Garcia, Cisco, Frog, and this morning we have Bernie Paul joining us, one of the local residents. And he's going to give us a guided tour of this amazing little town here. He's a good old hound dog. He latched onto us and he's been hanging out with us here for a bit. But yeah, we're standing in front of this shop here, and they've said we can take a look.
I love these old gas pumps. Isn't this cool?
This is a front-wheel drive, 500 cubic inch killer, and they will light up and stay lit.
And they get
on the
going.
front.
This one he still drives. You got the keys in it. 57 wagon. This one actually has a history. If you look underneath this, it's got the military green in it. He said that it was originally a military vehicle.
Eric and me cut it up and sold it for scrap.
Oh,
We got $27 out of it.
it's your fault.
You threw away?
Yeah, one of these.
Yes, sir. That steering wheel that does that is so cool. This thing's beautiful. It's been converted.
It's had an upgrade.
Yeah. This thing's got an AMC in it. What's it doing with that?
It
Now
fits.
That's an interesting, I mean, out of all the engines I expected to find in here, that was the last one.
He brought the steering wheel with it.
International. Company done. Another deuce and half he's got here. Looks
They
like
won't let
fabric.
us in, but the keys are in it.
You think it'll start up and go?
Yeah, it's got the key. It must.
Yeah, labor of love, but when you got done,
Running gear was totally junk.
trash.
Yeah, well, there wasn't
So-
much to it. It was just so
They're just
basic.
spindly little
Little Dana
things.
30s underneath there.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh yeah, you throw that away and put that Chevy under there. You'd
he's
have
not
it.
all wrong, is he?
Oh, he's all right. Actually, that's a good plan. I'd like to trade a couple brothers. You think they'd be interested?
I don't think they'll give you anything for him.
I don't want anything.
Oh, I had a 74 Spirit of America Nova. Just like this, but white one with the white, the stripes on it. And Spirit of 76 on the side.
Yeah,
Very
didn't
nice
it-
car.
Didn't you spend a week in a country jail? because
There's
of
a
that
story
car?
there, yes.
Well, what was the
Do
story?
I don't have to tell the story, do I?
Well, you don't have to.
Well,
But let's just let it be known that the Bird in his Nova had some trouble with the lawman.
well, yeah. They just figured that I was going faster through their town than they wanted me to.
That's right.
That's all. So they locked me up.
How was the hot bologna, eggs, and gravy?
Had an engine on there running through the transmission.
You know, the crazy thing about this is that the truth is, this thing would go just as good today if you threw an engine on it as the day they brought it home.
Yep.
Skids up front.
Oh, it's got an on-off switch, brother.
And it has a Volkswagen gas cap, so it must be okay. This is there. It's an Arctic. Hop in, bird.
Keys are in it. Away we go, huh?
Tell you what, you better have short legs.
Say, this thing's been modified for use for going moose hunting.
Made
Very
for his
nice.
wife.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what he said. He said this is what he gave to his wife, made it so she would go.
Those are high dollar tires.
You know, they
right
weren't
there.
cheap. Yep. You know they weren't cheap, but you know they're good. Look at them things. Wow.
Exactly what you would like to own, right here. No grizzly bear getting you. What do you think? You gonna climb up here and go for a ride?
This COE, old GMC cab over engine. Look at this thing. And four-wheel drive. It, you know, I don't know if it had a military history, but isn't it cool? This thing's a big 6 in here, but look at that. See.
This would be one beautiful ride. You took this thing and put a toy hauler on the back, you know, put the bed back there, hold your buggy. This would be incredible. I've never heard of that.
No, but that's the real McCoy. He's the big job.
Would that be a 264 right there?
I bet this truck has seen a lot of action. Very cool.
Oh, it's got a 360?
We'll look inside because we can't pass up a good General Motors truck.
She's a cranker. Is she still loose? Don't do it too fast and make it start.
You never know what you'll find in the weeds in Alaska. Go over to this restaurant here in Copper Center and grab some lunch. You there? It looks like it's going to be a delicious experience. So take a look at this really great restaurant. Hey, I love your restaurant.
Look at this. I got my onion rings and my cod.
Hey, here comes Garcia.
Thank you.
All right. That is a great dog.
A enthusiastic
Thumbs up. And that even made it better.
That concerns me. Thank you very much.
I think it's a 985 Pratt & Whitney. That would have been on the front of a BT-13 during the Second World War, or even on a Beaver. And you see what's sitting by it over there?
Sitting out here in the weeds.
Yeah.
We had to stop and take a look at these buses. If you can imagine this, lined up here, 4, 5, 6 other buses over there. And this is a B&B. You can come up here and stay in these buses. That looks like the one we used to ride when we were going to school, Bird. This road leads to Glen Allen, and this old bridge is no longer used. As you can see here in the distance, a new bridge. What you see going on here is these local residents going out moose hunting, and there are not a lot of roads that lead into the backcountry, and so they'll, wherever the roads are, they'll set up camp, and then they'll get their equipment and head out. You can imagine what would have been on a trailer like that one. Hey, good luck to you.
Thanks.
That is great. That is 6-wheel drive. You see that? That's a diesel truck. What kind of buggy did he pull in here? This one over here. Those aren't just your standard Polaris rides. Some big stuff.
Don't you wish you were out there moose hunting, brother?
Yes, I do.
Coming to Alaska is like going to an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's so much, you just gorge yourself on everything. Pretty soon you just can't hardly take any more.
There you are. You have the word from the bird.
Today we're at a early 1920s coal processing plant. What this is behind me is the washing unit. This is the foundation for the washing plant.
Coal in there.
These are the coal cars that would transport the coal to the plant here.
Coal is a much lighter product than any gravel or sand or any hard rock mine. So this particular one has an extension on the boom that allows it to be further out there.
The engine's missing out of the back here, but it would have had an engine sitting here sideways, driving the power for the whole thing.
More buffet. All you can eat.
McGarth went to the doctor to see why you are the way you are. So what did the doctor tell you after he did all his analysis, reading the bumps on your head and everything?
He looked at all the injuries that had occurred in my cranium through the years living with the brothers that I live with, and he says, "You is what you is."
What he really wanted to say is you just can't fix stupid.
I wanted to say you're lucky you're anything, buddy.
One moose to another.
You always got to pay the fiddler.
We've had a wonderful time. Hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as we enjoyed making it. All right, we'll see you next video. If you liked that video, make sure to check out the Goat Bros YouTube channel where we have many videos just like this. And if you want to see our newest adventures, make sure to click subscribe so you'll get notifications.